I'm Alicia. I'm a mother. I'm a Black woman. I'm intelligent. I love to travel. I'm beautiful, and I speak my truth. You are listening to the Speak Your Truth podcast series. No, I don't need that. But like I was saying before we came live, is I always find it interesting how some women
She's trying to find her angle.
Because I got like it's been a rough week, y'all, and I look like what I'm going through, but I'm still here.
I'm keep my inappropriate comments to myself about how your eyelashes look like that. It was either a real good time or a bad one.
Maybe, a bad one.
Maybe mixed in.
Bad.
Depending on what you're into.
But we were just talking about before we got live, and I'll introduce my guest in a second about bachelor parties. Like I love a good bachelor party, and I don't mind if my partner is going to go to one. Like I know what it entails, and I'm not finna put limits on what and what not to do, because I'm like, shit, you better not try to put no limit on me when I go to a bachelor.
There better be some fucking limits. Yeah, you like the bachelor party it should be somewhere in the middle on the debauchery scale. You got zero.
I mean, I'm not expecting my man to have sex, but I'm like,
there should be limits. So that's a limit, right?
I mean, yeah, okay. But I'm like, I'm not. So I've had friends.
Can you get a blowjob?
No, because that doesn't benefit the relationship in no type of way. Like, you can't get nothing that's not gonna benefit me too. We in this together.
What if he's stressed when he goes?
Why should he be stressed? That's my job to keep him.
He get a couple off while he there.
You're gonna find out in this conversation that I'm an anomaly. So let's dive right in. It's an introduction.
I'm talking shit because I can.
See this. I thought this was a positive place.
Absolutely.
See this.
I came to talk shit and chew bubble gum. I don't got no bubble gum.
I got hot chocolate today. We are back for episode 6. First and foremost, I really hope y'all enjoyed the last episode, and I gave y'all tips to surviving dating a Gemini or trying to date one of us. And
Woo.
Yeah,
I've been there.
You got to go back and listen to my last episode, because we are, even though, okay, before we dive into today's topic, I always be having to set context. I've never been one of those people that's just been like gung-ho zodiac, this is why I am the way I am, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But it seems like I'm meeting more and more people who's into that stuff.
So into it. No, I'm sorry. I mean, so way too much into it.
So first and foremost, introduce yourself. What you do, all of that.
Taji Nichols,
professional shit talker.
Professional shit talker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll leave it there.
So I today's episode, we're gonna dive in shortly. Today's episode is talking about, polyamory and monogamy, and just kind of like advantages and disadvantages of both. And then later on in the segment, we are going to play a little game called This and That. So episode 6, this is 30. Taji and I are talking about relationships and like bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, limits, and then kind of diving and circling right on in. First and foremost, the reason what brought this topic on is I do research, like contrary to what other people do for their podcast. They just kind of get on and talk shit. I try to do research a little bit so I can actually have some content and pull from other things. So again, and I mentioned this in other episodes, that I've been seeing a lot of people on Facebook saying that their dating pool has pee in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it's a joke, but I'm like, damn, P, like, what's happening out there? Like,
they mean that shit, but they mean that shit. Yeah, let me know when you're ready to start.
I'm just saying, like, we can dive in right now there? Because in my head, I'm like, mine got wine in it. Like, it got to be somebody doing wrong, because I'm like, I ain't finna swim in no damn pee.
That means you're a good picker.
Fake, yes.
That means you're a good picker.
Let's get into that. Expound on that. What makes a good picker? And
you sit down and you figure out what your wants are. You figure out what your needs are. You know what your non-negotiables are.
Yeah.
And then find people who meet that, and you deal with people who meet that, and you leave everybody else alone.
I agree.
You're a good picker. Most people, especially women, are not good pickers.
And I would say though, I definitely look for someone to add to my happiness, not necessarily make me happy. Because I learned, this is 30 now.
Are you
People,
30?
I'm 31.
Yeesh. Okay. Oh, wait, sorry. You remember the Don Cheadle thing where he told her how old he was? He's like, damn.
What was that?
Sorry.
what
Sorry.
was what is that? Sheesh. He
Okay.
act like I said I was
That
91.
was me talking shit. For
Thank
real.
you.
We
Shit,
was
I
just
want to
talking
stay
about
young,
how
youthful forever. It's been, I really, I'm
stay out
appreciating
the
my
sun.
30s. I know, I definitely stay out the sun, use my aloe. But yes, I'm 31, so times are different now. And what really made me kind of have this reflection and just kind of this, epiphany is just being introspective about how some of my choices in my 20s are definitely catching up with me in my 30s. And that's my partner, like the person I chose to conceive a child with. And it's like, my mindset was definitely just kind of not stable. I'm definitely not the woman I am today. And I'm just like, dang. But I don't doubt that some women are still kind of stuck in that mindset. And then I think it kind of barriers them from kind of seeing, kind of
Uh,
like outside of that. And then it kind of limits the dating pool. So I think it got
Absolutely.
pee in it.
So remember when I was talking on Kiana's show in the car the other day,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
One thing that I said was that one thing that happens is that um, we when we're children, and I'm going to say between say 16 and 25, when your brain stops developing at 25,
Mm-hmm.
we try to do incredibly adult things
Mm.
with other children,
Mm.
and then we end up causing damage, and that carries forward.
Mm.
We have kids. We get in relationships that we move in with folks, and then they cheat, and then we do that, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And then what happens with a lot of folks is the same type of person that they were fucking up with when they were children, they continue to look for that person, but they go, oh, it's going to be different this time because this dude, he ain't 6'4", he's 6'3", so it's going to be different. Or this dude ain't dark skinned, he brown skinned, but all the
I
same
think I
attributes
think
are
some
there.
with some women or people it do get
People,
deeper than that. And I want to try to speak as general as possible. I definitely don't want to single the ladies out here,
I will.
but I can. Of course you would.
Because look, you got it. So everything I say, I know men aren't perfect and we fuck up and we have
Well,
issues, but
nobody is.
I don't date men. I date women. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna always speak from a male's
Okay.
perspective who's dating women, and I'm gonna speak in generalities. I don't know you well enough to say. So when I say you or you all, I'm not talking about Alicia. This is what our second real life conversation ever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, I'm not going to say, oh, Alicia, you're doing this. Or, I mean, in general,
Yeah.
you know,
And I get that. So I wanna start kind of here. So 3 episodes ago, and I talked a little bit about, and I don't really talk about my dating life as much as I did on the Speak Your Truth podcast. Now that is like stuff I've done in my 20s that made me the person that I am. This one more so is talking about what I'm evolving into, and I talked a little bit about how just higher valuing yourself and then kind of attracting a different type of man or woman or whatever it is that you're dating. So my whole idea and mindset about wanting to be either treated a certain way or have a man or a woman of a certain caliber, you can't just be kind of going any kind of way. And I hear this all the time with
dating by
women
default.
saying, yeah, and I'm like, here's a question. A lot of people don't watch Sex in the City, but I do. But the question is like, why is it the woman we always kind of have to change and it's never the man? And I'm like, dang,
Ooh,
that is a great point.
couple things on Sex in the City. First of all,
They are white, but
well,
yes.
no, not even that.
Oh.
The lady who came up with and wrote the book that Sex in the City was based on, Candace
Bush,
Brunell, whatever.
yeah.
She's 60 and lonely and going
Mm.
nuts right now because she was living that lifestyle. And then she pressed it down through the book and the TV show, and a bunch of others onto a bunch of other women who are gonna end up the same way, in my opinion.
But I'm
That's
like, wait,
that's
let me interject on that because I'm like, at the time, 97, 98, I think Sex in the City, that it was pushing the envelope for women at doing the thing, how they acted. Like, obviously, black women couldn't get away with it, but at the time, it was definitely pushing the envelope and asking
Yeah.
those questions. But I say that kind of in relation to being of high value, where I feel like, okay, if you tired of dating dumb, broke, dusties, you got to kind of like know your own worth, but you got to
Okay.
polish it up to get a
So
different type of man.
first of all, water finds its own level.
Yeah.
So if you have women who keep attracting and dating dusty dudes, is because they're dusty women. They may not look like it on the outside, but
Mm-hmm.
they're in essence
It's
dusty.
dusty
That's
energy.
number one. And then you said too, like, why do women have to? Would you say grow or
Change.
change? Well, here's the thing. We have to grow as men from a male perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be everything that my boo wants. I had to grow into this,
Mm-hmm.
and it took a lot of work, therapy, time in the
See,
gym.
you said
You know what
therapy,
I
yes.
mean? I'm the son of a therapist, so
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
always,
nice.
so, but it took a lot of work for me to become the type of man who could attract the type of woman that I have,
Yeah.
right? And even say our living situation, for me to say, okay, things are getting serious. We're planning on having a baby.
Aw.
When we were planning to have a baby,
Mm-hmm.
I could say you're going to move into my house,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to pay any bills because I'm already paying the bills here. And
Mm-hmm.
it took a lot of work to go from that. Like when my marriage ended, and my business it got taken away from me, and I'm
Mm.
living in my mother's basement.
Mm-hmm.
To go from that to being in a position where I can take care of a family.
Mm.
Okay, that's a lot of growth, right? That's a
Yeah.
lot of change
Yeah.
because I could,
Yes.
so yes, if you're going to be with me and you're going to be the type of woman that I need, you may have to change. Now you have to decide is what is due is what I have to offer as a man
Mm.
worthy of that change.
Tom, we don't got
The
no comments on. He's dropping a gem right
the,
now.
the thing is that so many women feel like they shouldn't have to change anything to be with the type of guy that I am.
And wait a
Now,
minute.
I'm not going to force that. I'm just going to move around and find somebody who is.
And I'm surprised you ain't talking. Got nothing. You have nothing to say on this. I'm just saying, like, you are really so. So, like, yeah, I'm all in line with you, but I'm like, I got some shit some other episodes ago for saying exactly that because
so
yes,
here's a big thing though,
yes,
and I try to impress this upon women a lot.
mm-hmm,
When a man meets a woman, and say if we're both single and I approach you on the street, I'm approaching you because I think you're pretty. I like how you shape. I want to fuck. That's why I'm approaching you, right?
mm-hmm,
You control whether or not we fuck.
mm-hmm,
And you make up in your mind when you see me right off whether or not you're going to give me some, and then you decide how much work I'm going to have to do to get it.
mm-hmm,
Okay, that's what happens. Now you control that. If I was to take that from you, I would go to jail. It's a wrong thing, correct?
mm-hmm.
So beyond that, so my job as a man is to fuck. Your job and now if you
That's the job.
that's my initial that's what I showed up for. That's what I came here for.
It's
Right?
like that's what I'm
Now
here for.
now carrying it forward, if you as a woman are in the space of your life where you want a relationship, okay, I control that. I
Mm-hmm.
control whether or not we get into a relationship.
Mm. Why is that?
That's how things go. If
Mm.
say we want to get married, 99%
Yeah,
of the
you got to
time,
propose.
and if we're going to get into it, even just a simple relationship, 99% of the time, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, you're going to approach me.
And I
You're going to
mean, I
say,
guess like,
what are we doing? And then I'm going to say, I'm single and you're in a relationship. But, you know, I'm talking shit. No, I'm kidding. But
dang.
no.
I think
So,
that's like if people do like courtship though.
well, not even courtship is basic, even dating or fuck, but like whatever it is, if you want
Ah,
a relationship,
that's a
99% of
different
the time,
level.
the woman is going to introduce that and the man's going to decide whether or not he wants it. So
Hmm.
if you as a woman want a relationship from me, you're going to have to work for that the same way I had to work for that pussy. You're going to have to, yeah, you may have to grow. You in some areas, you may have to shrink some others if you want me to propose to you. And a big thing that happens now, because so many younger women aren't speaking to older women, married women, women in relationships about what it takes to be a wife. A lot of younger women don't have the game it takes to become one.
And I mean, a lot of us don't want to be wives.
Oh, absolutely, and they
Yeah.
act like it. and they absolutely
Yeah.
act like it. But then what
But I don't
happens?
think
What
that should
happens?
be a
You
bad
you
thing.
not this. But the thing is, though, you don't want to be a wife, and you want to, do what you want to do. That's fine. But then you don't want to deal with the type of men who don't want to be boyfriends or husbands. Like
Oh yeah.
you have certain guys who are boyfriend guys or they're husband type guys, right? They're generally boring.
Yeah.
I'm a boring guy. I joke all the time, like people, the whole "what do you bring to the table" shit. My joke is always, I'm gonna grow your hair back and clear your skin up. This is
It's like,
gonna be
and
a
it's
boring.
like,
This is gonna be.
see,
You know,
and you hit the kind of like ding 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 ding, like the perfect point to our next segment. So I am going to do a little bit of like combining a little bit of Speak Your Truth with this episode, really because I like I have been really struggling with a just relationships, and I'm like, I don't know, just a little bit of dysphoria. Like I feel disconnected from kind of like the whole idea of monogamy, and it's not a fear commitment because I've been able to commit to people before, but it's, and I guess it even sounds crazy like trying to admit this and say it, but I just, if it feels weird to me, I don't connect with it. I've had a hard time doing it. I've gone to therapy for it. So then I kind of started looking into, like poly and what does that mean? And it wasn't like a sexual driving factor, it was, I have a lot of needs that need to be met. And then it's like, well, just be single and just date a lot of people. And it's like, yeah, but that,
but then you're not getting the intimacy that you want. You're not getting the
exactly.
so
That's just kind of like bouncing around. And it's like, it is easy for me to kind of like emotionally detach. I could just have casual sex. Like, that's nothing for me to have casual sex. And that's where I have the problems with the women because they like, I'm a cuddly. And I'm like,
right.
I'm
I,
just
I
not.
always laugh when you hear like there's a joke that be like all these women out here they go from they stop dating men because they say men ain't shit, then they date women and
Women are annoying.
same sex, same problems.
Women are
I have a
annoying.
couple gay ladies in my family, and
Yeah.
when I tell you, if you've heard about my family and how them dudes get down, these women's for they these ladies.
I, I'm just saying, like, I love women, and women are definitely beautiful creatures, but it's hard to be, and me as a woman, it's hard to be honest with women because I would say right now in my life, a man or a woman, if there's someone that's interested in me, I'm going to be honest and tell the truth. Like, hey, I don't know where I really stand on monogamy or relationship right now.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun.
And they're all for it until they like you.
No, but then like what one just kind of like, well, I don't know if we're really gonna mesh because I'm more of a cool. Like if you're more of a relationship, cool. But then it's like still trying to pursue me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, no, this ain't gonna work.
So that's literally. So here's the funny part about poly and all the other stuff. A lot of people are kind of doing it already.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just not talking about it. Especially if you have guys who are single and they have their shit together. They're good around women. They generally run soft harems anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I enjoyed when I was dating and dating multiple women is you get to deal with a bunch of different type of energy. Say
Yeah.
you're dating this older lady over here, she's calm, she's softer, she's caring.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're dating the younger woman over there who's fucking nuts, and then
Not nuts.
oh my gosh, so, it's that type of thing, and it's like what was hard, so the dichotomy that you're hitting is like, when I was a single guy and I'm dating and I'm telling folks, well, I'm not in a headspace for a relationship, and they would totally agree,
Mm-hmm.
totally fine, and then they would, you'd hang out, you fuck a little bit, you eat a little bit, and then it's, what's coming next, I know we agreed on this, but this is what I want now. And there's a guy I used to listen to a podcast, and he would always say that women have integrity amnesia. And what that meant was not that they lack integrity, but that their integrity follows their emotions. So if we make this agreement right now that we're just gonna, that we're just gonna fuck around and going about our business, but then they mean that in that moment, but when they start liking you, 30 orgasms and 10 meals later,
Oh.
now, and they
Not
say,
10 meals.
now they say, oh, we should be together. they mean that at that moment. Like that deal that you made before,
Mm.
they forgot about that. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've experienced that. And
It's always
the
been on the opposite though. It's always been the guy doing that to me.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
because guys are territorial. Like a lot of times it'll be
Yeah.
a lot of so here's the I say too.
And I am not an ego stroker.
I say too. Like for me, I'm not a jealous dude, but I'm territorial.
Mm.
This is my woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to protect this woman. I'm going to build a fence around. This is and a lot of guys are like that. So once they start liking you, 30 orgasms, 10 mils later, and they start liking you, then they want to go, this is my woman, and they want to build a fence around you and keep things away. So
and they don't want nobody else to have you like they had
to,
you, and
right.
just all of this
exactly.
craziness.
And they ask dumbass questions, and they get their feelings hurt, and that type of thing.
And they ego bruised.
Yeah, I've always had a policy. If I liked a woman that much who did not like me that much, I would move the fuck around.
Oh my goodness.
I would. Like, you're not gonna have me sitting at the edge of the bed trying to figure out what I'm. Nope, I'm out of here.
I just feel like too, like with different, like, when first and foremost, like attracting different people, going back to that, it does take change. And it's like certain type of men, I wouldn't say that all men that are of a specific caliber, whatever, are like boring. I wouldn't say that, but they are a bit different.
Well, it depends. Again, if you're looking at or for relationship type guys, they're going to be more boring,
and I guess more reserved.
Well, and they're going to be thinking about future things.
Yes,
and I'm this year, and I'm thinking about I'm already thinking about the vacations I got for next year and the things I got planned. That type of thing, right? Yeah. And so, but if you're not that type of woman, then
I agree, and I do think so. One of the things,
you can't get everything in one person.
Yes, and that's where I find it hard. I like the idea of having like support all around, like a pod of support, and it's kind of really hard to find people to get on board with that, and it's mostly because I'm still kind of figuring me out too. But right now I'm very upfront with people about my expectations. But even kind of dating, like, I got this book. It's called Astrology and Me, and it goes through each zodiac sign. And the common denominator with women is that we kind of adopt this double standard that is like, we can do it, but you can't.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. And then it's like a lot of us just feel like, I'm just gonna say it, we don't hold ourselves accountable. And it's like the problem don't never be us. It's always somehow the men that you date. But I'm like, I really had to, like, that Sierra Russell Wilson prayer. You can pray all you want to, but you're not in Sierra's position.
That shit was trash for so many.
You're not at that level,
and you're not dealing with Russ.
So and I'm like, women shoot me down for saying that, but I'm like, you're not that way. And I'm sorry, and I know I talk a lot, I'm a Gemini, but I'm just saying that's my whole point of like a high valued man. Ladies, you have to be in a position to kind of get that man. Now, granted, Sierra is kind of up here in her own right.
No, Sierra is way the fuck up there.
She is, yes.
She's way the fuck.
Exactly.
And okay, let me just say this. Women don't. You understand that there's levels in men, right? I'm a chubby 5'7" dude that doesn't make six figures, right? And so a lot of women will look at me and they go, okay, he's not at that level. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, women don't think that
about themselves
for women.
Yes.
And it's like
we exempt.
Well, fuck, what the fuck? Like, you look at, if you're a 10, then what the fuck is Beyonce?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest, and y'all know that I'm always brutally honest.
If you're a 10 on Tuesday morning, coughing on the way to the bathroom, is that when you're a 10? Not the Friday, not the Friday night after 3 hours of work, and you done made the magic.
I'm a 20 then, but I'm a 10 on Tuesday.
But then what is Beyonce on stage?
Shit, a million.
Right. So and that's the thing. Like, when you look at Sierra's situation, Sierra and Russell Wilson, like, Sierra is one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Yes.
She's one of the most talented women on the planet.
Humble, sweet.
I don't care about that humble shit.
Ooh.
But I don't. You should fuck humble.
Ooh.
We work way too hard to be humble. You know what I'm saying? She dope as fuck. And she should, strut her shit. But anyway, like, she's one of the dopest women on the planet. and she got fucked over, and so now she's looking, so she goes to get the LASIK, quit playing. So then she goes to Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying, who's one of the best athletes who has ever lived.
Wow.
If you make it into any professional sport, you're automatically one of the best athletes that has ever
and
lived.
Don't get dropped.
And then he's at the top of that heat. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you got all of these dusty ass women, you know what I mean, who's still dating dusty ass dudes, and they haven't done anything to level themselves up. Now saying I'm gonna say Sierra's prayer, and I'm gonna pray to the Sky Daddy and hope that he makes
and wondering why you all get his sugar daddies. Like, no,
and they're not getting sugar. You know what I'm saying? And they be, oh my god.
But then, so I'm just gonna put myself out there. Like, if you are kind of just thinking about, okay, like my dating pool is just not what it needs to be or whatever. Like right now,
be
like
a better chick.
Yes.
If you want better, so
but I wouldn't say better, but I would just say improve yourself.
Better. If you
become
improve
the
yourself,
best version.
If you improve yourself, you become what?
I gotta
better.
Say it the way that the ladies resonate with it.
No,
most of my listeners
but
are
they
ladies.
Not listening.
But you gotta
be a better chick.
Become if you want the best version of yourself.
Oh my god.
But I'm like, CC, no, it is not all based on looks. So like, no,
it's not based on looks.
I'm gonna tell you the truth about what I did. Like not too long ago, I had to undate a person because I had to tell him that I didn't have my shit together. I'm like, you are such a nice guy. Like that was not only did I'm like, damn, I'm walking into rejection, anxiety, but I had to just be honest because I'm like, I wasn't ready. Like just this was somebody who was so stable, and I didn't. Yes, I did not realize how unstable, and it's not even like financially.
And when you meet them people,
yeah,
and you be like, I need to get my shit
together. OMG, I just felt like I had.
That was me.
I know how to cook. I know how to do this. I just felt like I had nothing else to offer. This is the only person in my life that's like out talked me in the conversation before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I've had to do that before and be real and be like, I don't even want to waste your time. Like I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
See, and you sitting here, you didn't blame him. Kudos.
No, oh my God, no.
Because
I'm not at his level of value yet. I'm worth it, but I'm not like I can't bring. I'm a liability. Like if I can't bring anything to my partner, I'm not an asset. I'm a fucking liability.
You know what? Stop that.
Stop what?
Stop thinking that way.
No.
The individual who you are dating does not look at you from that perspective.
But I date strategically. And this is the last point before we get to our this or that. Because another thing that I'm going to get into is that I can't speak for all Black women because all Black women have different stories. Okay. So I was never taught to look at money at all when I was selecting a partner. I was never taught to look at stability, status, job, family, friend. I was never taught. I was just taught to shop for love and like think about money as an afterthought. So I date strategically where right now I'm not even going to consider you if it's not going to be mutually beneficial. So I say that to say, I'm not finna be no leech to no man because I don't want no leech to be no man. I mean, want no man or woman to be no leech to me. So I'm like, if you're not bringing anything to this core relationship, you are a liability. Like, because what are you doing? Like, are you doing anything to make us stronger, build us up?
So here's the funny thing about that whole thing, right?
Aw, thank you.
Is you may have been looking at him. You know, you're dating strategically, right? And you're looking at him, and you're going, oh, I don't have anything to offer, but a lot of times what guys do, especially if they think long term, I know where the holes are, especially if you're self-aware. I know where the holes are in my life. Mm-hmm. You find someone to plug it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and you may not necessarily see what that is or know what that is, or, mm-hmm. But it's a good chance he saw that if he was as put together, as self-aware as you may think.
Now, and it didn't turn him off.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, because, and a self-aware and accountable woman in 2021 is fucking it's a unicorn. That's a unicorn. I mean,
it is.
I've only had one woman in my entire dating life sincerely apologize for some shit that she did, and then I'd put a baby in her. So I moved her in my house.
nose, beautiful baby.
Yeah.
But this conversation, if you're just joining us, thank you. Yeah, I didn't. And I guess my whole philosophy, kind of like coming from my 20s into my 30s, is just being honest. So, like the first season, I talked about how we, and not even just men, because I realized I do have a lot of LGBTQ supporters who listen. So, like being real with your partner. And like, if you don't like somebody, don't just ghost them. Because I'm like, if we fear anxiety and rejection, what makes you think these people don't? So just kind of like leveling that playing field a little bit.
I didn't even know ghosting was a thing. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
you did talk about when you got into the dating world.
Yeah, I had to learn a lot and fast. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because I used to just sit. I used to have conversation. Hey, this ain't gonna work out. That thing you did, I didn't like that. And, that. And then they blow up in your face, yell and scream. Throw all the bullshit, right? And then my cousin, he was like, fam, just stop fucking talking to him, block him and move on. I'm like, you can't do that.
That's actually like the thing.
And he was like, no, Nick, look, you just block him and move on. You don't need to put up with all
have a nice life.
And it's like, I even still had, a hard time doing that. There were some of them I'd be like, look, this, I just knew it'd be easier that way. But for the most part, I may fall back. And then if they come and be like, hey, what happened?
Yeah.
I go,
yeah.
Remember when we were, because it's just certain things I don't like. And you just go from there.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say on your whole point about, so you want to be polyamorous. Okay.
I'm exploring it. I wouldn't say.
So you're exploring polyamory.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, again, a lot of guys do something similar to that already when they're dating. They'll run what I call a soft harem. Mm-hmm. So you'll have, 3, 4, or 5 women that you're dating at the same time. It's a soft harem because they don't know each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you're just simply dating, and what you do, mm-hmm. if you're, especially if you're doing, you're going to run this kind of long term, you look for women who fill a gap or a need, or, be it energetically, sometimes monetarily, whatever, right? You look for women who fill that gap and that need, and you kind of fit them into your life here and there. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is sitting with yourself and in yourself and figuring out what you need, looking for people to fill that, mm-hmm. being completely honest up front. You don't necessarily have to say, because, like pure poly relationships are fucking insane. Mm-hmm. Is you have 2 boyfriends and 3 girlfriends, and then each of those people have 1 or 2 of mm-hmm. maybe, and the amount of communication that's required to make all that work and to work well mm-hmm. is damn near impossible.
Yeah,
because most people are terrible communicators. Again, stemming back, how you were raised, and then the bullshit we did when we were younger, right? Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is figuring out what you need, figuring out what your negotiables and your non-negotiables are, and then, going out and looking for it. Most guys will rock with it at least until, the 30 orgasms. Oh, but then you may have to have another conversation. Somebody is typing away with their thumbs.
That's Princess. Let's see what Princess says.
That's a paragraph. Hey, if I got that in the text, I'll just be like, okay.
Ooh, then I would just call.
And then I would go, I'm sorry that happened, or I'm happy for you, whichever way.
It said it's just all about communication and setting boundaries.
Communicate. She's right. But communication is hard even when you got one partner. You have one. So, and here's the thing too, like, I was talking about, the guy I know, my friend who has 2 wives, yep. That type of thing, right? And I've had the opportunity to actually be with more than one woman, at the same time. Mm-hmm. But then it's the difference between having that conversation maybe in your 20s or early 30s versus my 40s now, because it's always presented to men as, hey, let me offer you some extra pussy, right? And in your 20s and your 30s, great, I love pussy, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I get 2 pussies and I don't gotta lie, and all that. But in your 40s, you look at it and you go, no, you offer me more responsibility. Because with me having a family, running a house, and dealing with all of the female energy that I deal with, right? You know, because I have my woman, I have my 12-year-old daughter, I have my 4-year-old daughter, you know, and shit, even my dog is female. You know, the my tenant who rents from me upstairs is a woman, and she has a daughter.
Oh,
Now she's having
wow.
twin daughters. You feel me? Like this,
Wow.
just you know. So then to think, okay, now I'm going to add another house to that, and then what
Okay.
if this young lady has kids? You know what I'm saying? And even if it's not a financial thing, it's an energy thing, both physically and emotional. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's now instead of worrying about my house and my mother's house, now I have to worry about your house and maybe your mother's house.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that. The
And I
amount of
think people
responsibility in that.
people don't understand that. I think people go into poly thinking that it's just basically kind of like a swinging thing, and it's like that's
Nah, it's
not it. It's like everything you would do for your mate, but your other mates. Like,
Yeah. See, and you got the amount of energy expenditure that has to come from that. You know, no, a lot of people, they don't have enough emotional energy to make
for
it through
one
their,
person, yeah,
or even just being single, to make it through their own day by themselves and keep their shit together,
yeah,
right? And it's like, it's almost like when I explain racism to white people, and I say, you know, I say, look, you know, being black in America takes more energy than being white. You know, I said, so imagine, I said, you go through your whole day. You start your day at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. You're in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. You're absolutely fucking tired. Now, add on to that, having to worry about, you know, getting scared every time you see the police, getting followed around the store, you know, and all the other issues that we deal with being black. Now, you know, the amount of emotional and physical energy that it takes to run one household or have one relationship. Now you're going to do that because, again, running a soft harem as a single guy, I don't have 3 or 4 girlfriends. I have 3 or 4 women I'm dating, which means if she sends something I don't like, I don't have any real emotional responsibility to that woman.
Yes.
But in a poly relationship, like you do, I have emotional responsibilities to this woman.
Yep.
You know, and to this other woman, or to, you know, to these women.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have to deal with the jealousies, and this one isn't getting enough time, and you know what I'm saying, I did this one thing with this one that I normally do, oops, and now, you know,
yeah,
it's too much work
going in there. And then Princess also said people get ghosted for several reasons. One popular reason is if someone is coming on too strong, which can be scary for some. Take your time getting to know each other. Now, I definitely say that I come on too strong to people who feel into. I've had 3 men in my lifetime tell me I intimidate them, but they was dusty. So, but before, yeah.
I get that from women.
I
do. Not that I'm dusty, but that not even that I come on too strong, but more so the whole, you know, say having conversations and them not being able to keep up, or even, you know, just where my life is or how my life is, you know, that it's a lot. And I do tell folks, you know, if you're not my type of woman, I'm going to be a lot for you to deal with. You know, I'm going to feel like a lot of work. I'm going to feel like I'm a lot, and I know it. You know, and it's not because I'm out here simply applying pressure, but I know that, you know, in my relationship, that my job is to take as much stress off of your hips as possible and set them on my shoulders. That ain't free.
What you do at work? I'm just playing.
No, I'm saying that it's not free. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And so it's like there's going to be things that I need or that I want that I'm, you know, it has to go both ways.
Okay. Well, we had an amazing conversation. Thank y'all. And ladies, thank you for letting me be vulnerable with y'all on the live today. I try to, now if you're already married or hooked up with somebody, you know,
don't
that's
try
great.
that poly shit when you already got a relationship.
Yes, please don't.
Because look, it's one thing you start your shit in the beginning and you tell them this is what I am, but there's no the fuck way in hell you're gonna step to some man and say, now I want to open this shit up.
It ain't gonna work.
He's gonna, if he's like me, he's gonna say, you are free to fuck anybody you like because this is over.
Yeah.
As soon as you bring that, this is over. I am done. I'm gonna go get my hair cut, buy a new shirt, and look for somebody else.
Lord.
Now, or he's gonna agree with it. And then you're going to hop out there and you're going to have a ball because you're a woman and y'all don't have to work hard for dick or other partners.
We really don't.
No. I was telling, I made a joke on Kiana's show the other day. Y'all don't even have to say it. You can go in the bar, look at a nigga across the bar, point at your pussy and grunt, and he'll be like, "Who, me?" You know, 9 out of 10 dudes, they have no dick discipline. They are gonna fuck.
And I mean, to think about it, a lot of men haven't been. A lot of men just kind of be wanting to touch. Like a lot. Think about it.
Well,
When's the last time, like, since you've been a little boy, that you've kind of had like an intimate touch? Like,
so all the time, because for me, I'm the son of a therapist.
oh yeah, well,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
don't count. I mean, I guess I mean broke dusties.
Then you know, I come from an affectionate family. Like, you know, we have it's a male dominant family, but the men in my family, we sit and we talk, we hug each other, we say I love you, we
I love
you know
that.
what I'm saying. And then being raised by a mother who, you know, seeing me as her introverted, you know, closed off son, like, let me give you some tools, and you know, so and then so when I became an adult and was going into relationships, knowing what I needed, you know, I would go after that. You know what I'm saying? And so shit, like you say, so here's a funny thing. I always joke about, I call it the killing move. You know what I'm saying? If guys, you dating a woman, if you're dating a woman, you really like her, you know what I'm saying? One thing that I always recommend you do: turn on some music, make it soft, get in the bed, asshole naked. You know, the guy lays on his back, have her straddle him. Don't put your dick in. You know what I'm saying? Just lay there, skin to skin, rub her back, talk to her. You know, now the crazy thing is that, you know, the majority of women can't handle that.
Really?
No, they want to go. They want to fuck, because the majority of women have no clue. They've not experienced any real actual intimacy. You know, but you know what I'm saying. And then so they want to go like, okay, I'm just gonna try to give them some pussy, you know, because it scares them. You know, so you know that doing that type of thing, you know, the amount of energy exchange and what you're actually getting from that person in that time, especially if you make them slow down, you make them breathe with you while you get it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, shit, last week you say, when's the last time you last week?
I'm like, I'm talking about the dusties that I get touched. I'm like, because they'll be going, but I'm like, any man that values himself, they be like, nah, like, I don't.
So yeah, and you know, and like I said, like the follow up, like if you do get your dude to agree now to be poly or to open up the relationship, you know what I'm saying? If he agrees with it, he's going to find somebody else and he's going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, because he's just going to agree with it long enough for him to monkey branch to somebody else. That's if you're trying to introduce it later. Don't do that shit, ladies. Just leave or cheat discreetly, I guess, if that's your thing.
So now we are going to get, first and foremost, thank you for coming on the show and just offering a male perspective. So yay. And thank you for everyone listening and tuning in. But I want to play this or that. So this is something new, and I'm like, since I have a guest here,
Cheetos.
Hey, I love Cheetos. It's my favorite.
Hog moss.
But
now, I don't eat slave food, but
so no soul food.
No, I don't eat slave food.
So no hog maws.
No hog maws, no chitlins, no tongues, no tripe. I eat pork.
Oh, so just kind of like the other
the entrails. I don't eat slave food. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. All right. So this game is this or that, and it's kind of, you have two options, and you got to pick this or that, and you cannot ask me questions back. Okay, so you just got to pick one.
Oh, that's gangster.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
So would you rather be broke and happy or rich and sad?
Rich and sad.
Okay. Would you rather go
Can I expound on why?
No.
Okay.
Maybe after we're done. Look.
Okay. And I want to note that I use the word expound. Go ahead. In a sentence.
Would you rather go on a bad blind date or date a broke best friend? Like a female best friend, but she was broke.
Oh, the female best friend. We're gonna have a ball.
Okay.
I mean, I pay anyway. So like, if I'm we're gonna have a ball. Like, hey, I will ruin you.
Oh,
I will ruin you. I will make it so hard for you to date anybody else. Like my homegirl that decorated my house still has problems dating. Just kicking it with me during the time she decorated my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just kicking it with me.
Oh, wow.
I will ruin you.
Dang.
So I'm gonna take that one.
Okay. Would you rather date a bad cook or a bad tipper?
I'm gonna say a bad tipper.
Okay. Would you rather don't have to answer this. Would you rather your daughter be kind of loose or your son be a deadbeat?
I'm not. Oh, that's fucked up.
Hey, I found
Wait,
it.
wait, wait, wait. I don't have a son, so I'm gonna go with that one. I got 2 daughters.
Yeah, so these are I actually found this little game.
That's fucked up.
It is. I found this game this morning. So
I got an issue with both of those.
Right, exactly.
Shit.
The worst, best of the worst, I guess, but both of those were worse. But this is episode 6 of This Is 30, and you have been fantastic. And there is one more episode left in this series. And as always, continue hitting me up. Letting me know your thoughts. Continue listening. Thank you. I am just amazed at how many of y'all just enjoy listening to what it's like dating a Gemini. So as much as y'all hate us, but that's all for this week.
I still need to go to therapy over that. Gemini.
Shut up. Anyway, we'll catch you next week.